My parents hated me because I could not have kids and failed to give them a grandchild. They even called me a waste and told my husband that he deserved better. So, he left me. Now, after 3 years, I bumped into them with a baby, and now they are suddenly begging me for another chance. I was 26 when the fertility doctor confirmed it. I couldn't conceive naturally. Nathan held my hand and said we'd figure it out. I believed him. That night, I called my parents. My dad answered. When I told him, he went silent. Then he said, "So, you can't give us grandchildren? Not, are you okay? Just disappointment." My mom grabbed the phone. "First, you weren't a son. Now you can't even do what women are supposed to do. You're worthless." I sat on my kitchen floor for 2 hours after that call, just staring at nothing. 2 weeks later, they stopped calling. Then my cousin texted me a photo. Nathan having lunch with my dad. She'd seen them together 3 times that week. I confronted Nathan. He said I was being paranoid, that they were just checking on him. But 2 months later, Nathan's parents told me the truth. My parents had been feeding him poison, telling him he was wasting his life with me, that he could find someone who'd give him real children, that staying with a barren wife made him a fool. They used that word, barren. 2 months after my diagnosis, Nathan walked in with divorce papers. I begged him to reconsider. We could try IVF. We could adopt. Anything. He wouldn't look at me. Your parents are right. I deserve a real family. The divorce took 7 months. I lost 30 pounds because I forgot how to eat. My hair fell out from stress. I'd wake up at 3 a.m. having panic attacks, convinced they were right about me being worthless. 3 weeks after Nathan moved out, I drove past my parents' house at midnight. His car was in their driveway. He was living with them. They finally got their son. My therapist said I needed to leave, start over somewhere new. So I packed everything and drove 3 hours away. New town, new job at a nonprofit, new apartment. I blocked my parents, Nathan, and everyone connected to them. Told my friends not to mention my family. We were done. For a year, I just existed. Work, home, therapy, twice a week. That was my life. Then my therapist suggested a grief support group. That's where I met Allison. She was 32. Single mom raising her daughter Rosie alone. Rosie was 2 with Down syndrome. Allison had stage 4 pancreatic cancer. We clicked immediately, started having coffee after group. She'd bring Rosie and watching them together made my heart ache in a good way. For the first time since my divorce, I felt something other than pain. We became inseparable. I'd babysit during Allison's chemo appointments. We'd have movie nights where Rosie would fall asleep between us. Rosie started calling me auntie, and I started feeling like maybe I wasn't as broken as everyone said. 6 months after we met, Allison called me over. Her hands were shaking. The cancer was spreading faster than predicted. Maybe 6 months left. "Will you take Rosie when I'm gone?" she asked. "I have nobody else. My family disowned me when I got pregnant, but I've watched you with her these past months. You're already her mother in every way that matters." All I could think about was my parents calling me worthless, saying I'd be a terrible mother. Allison grabbed my hands. "They were wrong about you. I see how Rosie lights up when you walk in. That's real love. That's what being a mother actually means." Allison died 4 months later. The adoption finalized 3 weeks after her funeral. Rosie was 3 by then. The second that judge declared her mine, something inside me healed. I wasn't broken. I was always meant to be Rosie's mom, just not the way my parents demanded. Yesterday, I'm at the grocery store with Rosie in my cart. She's chattering about goldfish crackers, and I'm laughing when I hear my mother's voice behind me. I turn. My mother makes a sound I've never heard before, somewhere between gasp and sob. She's staring at Rosie's face like it's burning her. "David, look at her eyes," she whispers to my dad. He sees it too, goes pale. "That's impossible." My mother's shaking now. Same spacing, same expression when she smiles. My dad's voice cracks. "Your sister would be 35 now." My mother's not listening anymore. She's approaching Rosie with trembling hands. "We failed her once. We can't fail again." There's genuine terror in her eyes. "This is why she was given to you." She grabs Rosie so fast I don't react in time. My dad's already pulling me backward. "Don't fight this. It's fate." I yanked Rosie back so hard my mother stumbled. "Don't touch her." My voice came out like gravel. Rosie started crying, reaching for me, and I just ran. Straight down the aisle, knocking over a display of cereal boxes. I didn't look back. I could hear my dad shouting behind me, "Wait, please, we just want to talk." I fumbled with my keys in the parking lot, hands shaking so bad I dropped them twice. Rosie was still crying in my arms. I got her in the car seat, and that's when they caught up. My dad started banging on my window. "Please, she deserves grandparents. We've changed." My mother was pressing her face against the glass, mascara running down her cheeks. "We're sorry. We're so sorry. Just give us a chance." I reversed out of the spot and just drove. Rosie eventually calmed down and fell asleep. I white-knuckled the steering wheel the whole way home, checking my rearview mirror every 30 seconds like they'd be following us. That night, my phone started blowing up, text after text from numbers I'd blocked years ago. Somehow they were getting through. "We know where you live now. We've been watching you for months. We know Rosie goes to Little Sprouts Daycare on Maple Street. We know you take her to the park every Saturday at 10 a.m. We're not going away. She needs family. We can give her everything." I threw my phone across the room. It hit the wall and cracked. Good. I sat on the floor next to Rosie's crib and watched her sleep, my heart hammering against my ribs. They'd been watching us. For months. How many times had I walked past them without knowing? How many photos did they have? 3 days later, there's a knock on my apartment door at 8 a.m. on a Saturday. I look through the peephole and my stomach drops. My parents are standing there with shopping bags. I can see wrapped presents, stuffed animals, one of those massive teddy bears you win at carnivals. I open the door just a crack, keeping the chain on. Leave, now. My dad puts his hand on the doorframe. We brought gifts for Rosie. Just let us see her for 5 minutes. That's all we're asking. I'm not asking you for anything. Get away from my door. My mother's voice goes sweet, sticky sweet like artificial honey. Sweetheart, we know you're angry. We deserve that. But we've been talking to a lawyer. She pauses, lets that sink in. And in this state, grandparents have rights. We can petition the court for visitation if it's in the child's best interest. I feel the floor tilt under me. You're threatening me? My dad shakes his head. No. We're just saying we have options. But we don't want to go that route. We just want a relationship with our granddaughter. Is that so terrible? She deserves to know her family. You're not her family. You're strangers who called her mother worthless and destroyed her marriage. My mother flinches. We were wrong. We've spent 3 years regretting it. But punishing us by keeping Rosie away isn't fair to her. I slam the door so hard the frame rattles. Through the wood, I hear my dad say, "Think about it. We'll be back." I stand there shaking. Grandparent visitation rights. I didn't even know that was a thing. I spend the next 4 hours Googling, and every article makes it worse. In my state, grandparents can petition for visitation. They can actually win. The court decides if it's in the child's best interest. Some grandparents get weekends, some get holidays, some get summers. I make an appointment with a family lawyer for Monday. Her office smells like old books and air freshener. She's maybe 50, gray hair pulled back tight, reading glasses on a chain. She listens to everything, takes notes, doesn't interrupt. When I'm done, she leans back in her chair. Okay, so here's the reality. Yes, they can petition for visitation. And honestly, they might win. My throat closes up. How? Courts in this state look at whether the child would benefit from a relationship with the grandparents. Your parents will argue that Rosie deserves extended family, stability, people who can provide for her. They'll show up looking respectable, bring character witnesses, talk about how much they've changed. Unless you can prove that contact with them would actively harm Rosie, a judge might grant them something. But they called me worthless. They helped destroy my marriage. She nods. I believe you, but that was 3 years ago, and it was directed at you, not Rosie. The court will see it as old family drama. What you need is evidence that contact with them now would damage Rosie specifically. Documented instability, abuse, substance issues, anything that proves they're unfit. I don't have that. Then we build a case around the fact that they had no prior relationship with her. You can argue that forcing contact with strangers would be traumatic, but it's not a slam dunk. And this kind of case, it'll cost you. Retainer is $5,000. If it goes to trial, could be $20,000, $30,000. I leave her office feeling like I'm underwater. I don't have $5,000, I barely have $500. I work at a nonprofit. I drive a 2008 Honda with a cracked windshield. I can't afford this. 2 days later, I'm scrolling through Facebook, something I never do, and there it is. My mother has posted a photo. It's blurry, clearly taken from far away, but it's me and Rosie at the grocery store. The caption reads, "Finally met our beautiful granddaughter. Praying for reconciliation and healing. Family is everything." There are 83 comments, all supportive. So happy for you. Grandchildren are a blessing. Hope your daughter comes around. I check my dad's page. He's shared the same photo. Changed his profile picture to one of him and my mom at their church, looking like the perfect couple. His bio now says, "Proud Grandpa." They're building a narrative. They're making themselves look like the victims. Loving grandparents being kept from their granddaughter by a bitter, unstable daughter. The legal paperwork arrives on a Thursday. Official court documents. They filed the petition. They're requesting visitation every other weekend, alternating holidays, and 2 weeks in the summer. I read it 3 times and I can't breathe. The petition claims I'm emotionally unstable due to unresolved infertility trauma and using the child as a weapon to punish the grandparents for past family disagreements. They've attached character references, letters from their pastor, their neighbors, people from their Bible study group. All of them say my parents are kind, devoted, loving people who've been pillars of the community for decades. I have 2 weeks to respond. I call the lawyer back. She says it'll be at least $3,000 just to file the response and prepare for the initial hearing. I don't have it. I ask about payment plans. She says she'll see what she can do, but her tone says, "Don't get your hopes up." I can't sleep. I can't eat. Rosie keeps asking why I'm sad. I tell her I'm just tired, but she's 4 now and she's not stupid. She brings me her favorite stuffed elephant and pats my hand. "It's okay, Mama. Ellie makes everything better." That night, I go into my storage closet and start pulling out boxes. Old stuff from before the divorce, things I couldn't bring myself to throw away. I find a box labeled Therapy 2022. Inside are intake forms from when I first started seeing Dr. Brennan. I documented everything back then, writing it all out because she said it would help me process. There are pages of notes in my handwriting, things my parents said, dates, direct quotes. "You're worthless. You've ruined the family line. You're not a real woman. Nathan deserves better." I find printed screenshots of text messages from my mother. "You're an embarrassment. I'm ashamed to call you my daughter." There's even a saved voicemail on an old phone I'd forgotten about. I charge it, wait 20 minutes, and play it. My mother's voice, cold and sharp. "You failed at the one thing women are supposed to do. Don't expect us to pretend everything's fine." I take everything to the lawyer. She reviews it, and I can see her expression shift. "This is good. This is really good." Then she pauses. "But it's still not enough." "How is that not enough?" "Because it's about you. It's proof they treated you terribly, yes. But the court's primary concern is Rosie. They'll argue that they were frustrated with their daughter's situation, but that doesn't mean they'd be bad grandparents. They'll say people change, that they've had 3 years to reflect and grow. You need something that proves contact with them would harm Rosie specifically, right now. I want to scream. So all of this means nothing? It means something. It shows a pattern of cruelty. But family courts see this stuff all the time. Estranged parents, ugly divorces, people saying terrible things and then wanting a second chance. Unless you can prove they're a danger to Rosie, the court might give them a shot. That weekend, my parents show up at Rosie's daycare. I get a call from the director, Miss Pamela, at 5:30 p.m. Hey, so I wanted to give you a heads up. An older couple was here during pickup today. They said they're Rosie's grandparents, that you're working on reconciliation. They didn't try to take her or anything, just waved from across the playground. But I thought you should know. My vision goes spotty. What did they look like? She describes my parents perfectly. They seemed really nice, honestly. They told me they're praying for your family, that they hope things work out. A few of the other parents saw them and they were very friendly. They're not allowed near her, at all. This is exactly why I have the restricted pickup list. I know, and we followed protocol. They never came inside. They were just on the public sidewalk outside the fence. Technically, we can't control that. I drive to the daycare and talk to Miss Pamela in person. She's sympathetic but firm. If they're on public property, there's nothing we can do. And honestly, they seemed like concerned grandparents. Several parents mentioned how sweet they were. That's when I realized what's happening. They're not just showing up, they're performing, building witnesses, people who'll testify in court that they saw loving grandparents trying to connect with their granddaughter. The next Tuesday, I take Rosie to the park. We're there maybe 20 minutes when I see them, sitting on a bench 50 feet away. My dad has a camera. My mother waves at Rosie like they're old friends. Rosie doesn't wave back. She doesn't know them, but she also doesn't seem scared, just confused. They get up and walk over slowly. My mother's holding a stuffed unicorn. Hi, Rosie. Do you like unicorns? This one's for you. I step between them and Rosie. Get away from us. My dad holds up his phone, camera pointed right at me. We're in a public park. We're allowed to be here. We're not doing anything wrong. My mother crouches down to Rosie's level, talking around me. Your mommy's upset, but we love you so much. You're our special girl. I grab Rosie's hand and walk away. Behind me, I hear my dad say loudly, "See how she keeps her from us? We just want to love you, sweetheart." Other parents are watching. I can feel their eyes. I look like the bad guy, the bitter daughter keeping a child from her doting grandparents. When I get home, there's an email from my lawyer. My parents' attorney has submitted video evidence, footage from the coffee shop, the park, the daycare pickup. All of it shows them being calm, friendly, affectionate. All of it shows me being hostile and running away. The email says, "This doesn't look good. They're building a case that they've attempted peaceful contact multiple times, and you've refused to coexist. The court may view you as unreasonable." I'm losing. I can feel it slipping away. They're smarter than I thought. They've turned this into a PR campaign. That night, I can't sleep. I keep thinking about what the lawyer said. I need proof they'd harm Rosie, proof they're unfit, but they've spent 3 years rebuilding their image. They go to church, they volunteer, they're respected in their community. Everyone thinks they're wonderful, except they're not wonderful. They're the same people who called their daughter worthless and orchestrated her divorce. They're just better at hiding it now. I think about their house, the house I grew up in. I haven't been there in 3 years, but I still remember every room. My dad's office in the basement, my mother's craft room, the locked filing cabinet where they kept important documents, the filing cabinet. I wait until Wednesday afternoon when I know they'll both be at their church's Bible study. I drive to their house, park 2 blocks away, and walk up through the backyard. I still have a key to the basement door from when I lived there, hidden under a fake rock that's probably been there since I was 12. The key still works. Inside, the house smells the same. Lavender air freshener and old carpet. Everything looks exactly like it did 3 years ago. Same furniture, same photos on the walls, except now there are new pictures. Printed photos of Rosie from their surveillance. Rosie at the park, Rosie at daycare, Rosie at the grocery store. They've made a shrine. I go to the basement. My dad's office is neat, organized, everything labeled. The filing cabinet is still in the corner, still locked. I use a letter opener from his desk to jimmy it open, something I learned when I was 16 and grounded. The first drawer is tax documents, insurance papers, boring stuff. The second drawer is medical files. I'm about to close it when I see a folder labeled Confidential 1994. I open it. Inside are medical records. My mother's patient history from a fertility clinic in the next county over. The dates go back 30 years. I start reading and my hands go numb. My mother had 7 miscarriages. 7, between 1992 and 1996. After I was born, she tried for years to have another child. Multiple rounds of IVF, hormone treatments, experimental procedures. Everything failed. There's a diagnosis report from 1997. Patient presents with diminished ovarian reserve and chronic implantation failure. Prognosis for future conception is poor. There's another file under it, my dad's medical records. A diagnosis from 1995. Severe oligospermia. Sperm count below viable threshold for natural conception. My dad is infertile. They both are. They couldn't have more kids after me. I keep digging. There are therapy bills. Receipts for counseling sessions at a clinic 2 towns over where nobody would recognize them. And then I find the journals. My mother's journals, dated from 1996 to 1999. I open one at random and start reading. The handwriting is shaky, frantic. I'm broken. I can't give David the son he deserves. I'm worthless as a wife. God is punishing me. Another entry. I see pregnant women everywhere and I want to scream. Why them and not me? What's wrong with me? Another. David says it's fine, but I know he's disappointed. I failed him. I failed as a woman. I'm useless. I flipped through page after page, the same words over and over: broken, worthless, failure, useless. The exact words she used on me. There's a therapy intake form from 1998. The counselor's notes say, patient exhibits severe anxiety and depression related to infertility, feelings of inadequacy and shame, struggles with self-worth. They went through exactly what I went through. The same diagnosis, the same shame, the same spiral. And instead of using that to have compassion for me, they weaponized it. They punished me for reminding them of their own failure. I take photos of everything. Every page, every document, every journal entry. My hands are shaking so bad some of the photos come out blurry, but I keep going. When I'm done, I put everything back exactly how I found it, lock the filing cabinet, and leave through the basement door. I send everything to my lawyer that night, all of it. She calls me 30 minutes later. This changes everything. This is exactly what we needed. How? Because it proves motive. They don't want a relationship with Rosie out of love. They want it because they can't handle watching you succeed where they failed. It's psychological projection. They're trying to control your motherhood because they couldn't control their own infertility. Any decent psychologist will back that up. The hearing is set for the following Thursday. I don't sleep the night before. I wear the only professional outfit I own, a gray dress I bought at Goodwill for Allison's funeral. Rosie stays with a friend from church. I can't bring myself to eat breakfast. The courtroom is smaller than I expected. Fluorescent lights, fake wood paneling, a judge who looks about 100 years old. My parents are already there with their lawyer, a man in an expensive suit who looks like he does this for fun. My mother's wearing pearls and a floral dress. My dad's in a navy blazer. They look like they're going to a country club. Their lawyer goes first. He's good, really good. He presents the videos, the photos, the character references. He calls their pastor to the stand, a man with white hair and a warm smile who talks about how my parents are devoted members of the church, how they volunteer with the youth group, how they've mentored struggling families. These are good people, the pastor says. They made mistakes with their daughter years ago, mistakes they deeply regret, but they've spent those years in prayer and reflection. They just want a chance to love their granddaughter. He calls a neighbor who's known my parents for 20 years. She talks about how kind they are, how they bring her groceries when she's sick, how they've always been wonderful. Then my mother takes the stand. She's crying before she even sits down. Her lawyer asks her to describe her relationship with me. She dabs at her eyes with a tissue. I failed my daughter when she needed me most. I was cruel and unsupportive during the hardest time of her life. I've regretted it every single day since. All I want is a chance to make it right, to be there for Rosie the way I should have been there for my daughter. She's good, really good. If I didn't know better, I'd believe her. The judge looks sympathetic. And what would you say to the accusation that you're only interested in the child because of your own unresolved issues? My mother looks confused. I don't understand the question. We'll get to that, the judge says. Then it's our turn. My lawyer stands up, and she's holding a thick folder. Your Honor, the petitioners have presented themselves as reformed, loving grandparents. But the evidence shows something very different. She starts with the medical records. She puts them on the overhead projector so everyone can see. My mother's fertility clinic history, 7 miscarriages, failed IVF, my dad's infertility diagnosis, the therapy bills. My mother's face goes white. My dad's jaw clenches. Their lawyer leans over to whisper something, but they're not listening. These records show that the petitioners struggled with infertility for years, my lawyer says. They were unable to have more children after their daughter. They experienced significant trauma related to this, as evidenced by the therapy records. She puts up a photo of one of my mother's journal entries, the words, "I'm worthless," and "I've failed as a woman," blown up huge on the screen. These are the petitioner's own words, written in 1997, describing her feelings about her infertility. Then she puts up my therapy intake forms from 2022. The notes where I documented what my parents said to me. You're worthless. You failed. You're not a real woman. Notice the language, my lawyer says. Identical. The same words the petitioner used to describe herself. She later used to shame her daughter when she faced the same diagnosis. The judge leans forward, looking at my parents over his glasses. Is this accurate? Did you make these statements to your daughter? My dad tries to deflect. Those were private moments during a very emotional time. We said things we didn't mean. Did you or did you not call your daughter worthless when she was diagnosed with infertility? Long pause. My mother's staring at her hands. My dad finally says, yes. Did you encourage her husband to divorce her? Another pause. The courtroom is completely silent. I can hear my own heartbeat. My mother whispers, yes. The judge writes something down. Continue, counselor. My lawyer pulls out the timeline, shows how my parents stopped calling me after my diagnosis, shows the photos my cousin took of Nathan having lunch with my dad, shows the custody agreement from my divorce and the date Nathan moved in with my parents. The petitioners didn't just fail to support their daughter. They actively sabotaged her marriage, offered her ex-husband a place to live, and then disappeared from her life for 3 years. And now, she says, 3 years later, they see their daughter has successfully adopted a child. They see her thriving as a mother despite the infertility that they shamed her for, and they can't handle it. She puts up a psychological evaluation we had done, an expert opinion from a family therapist. Dr. Kimberly Reyes has reviewed all the evidence and concluded that the petitioner's interest in the child is not motivated by love, but by an unconscious need to control their daughter's motherhood experience. They were unable to have more children themselves, and watching their daughter succeed where they failed triggers their unresolved trauma. Forcing contact between the child and the petitioners would create an emotionally volatile environment driven by the petitioner's psychological issues, not the child's needs. The judge asks my parents' lawyer if he has anything to add. He stands up, but he looks rattled. Your Honor, my client's medical history is private and irrelevant. They've shown good faith by attempting peaceful contact. The fact that they share a similar diagnosis with their daughter should, if anything, give them more empathy and understanding. Except they didn't show empathy, the judge says. They showed cruelty. They called her worthless. They helped end her marriage. That doesn't sound like understanding. My parents' lawyer sits down. He's got nothing. The judge looks at my parents, really looks at them. I've been doing this for 32 years. I've seen a lot of grandparents petitioning for visitation. Most of them genuinely want what's best for the child. But every once in a while, I see grandparents who want access to a child for their own reasons, to fix their own regrets, to control their own children, to soothe their own pain. He pauses. This is one of those cases. My mother starts crying harder. My dad's staring at the table. You called your daughter worthless when she couldn't have children. You encouraged her divorce. You disappeared from her life. And now that she's built a family without you, you want to force your way in. That's not love. That's control. He picks up his gavel. Petition denied. The petitioners are granted no visitation rights. Furthermore, I'm issuing a no-contact order. The petitioners are not to approach, contact, or attempt communication with the respondent or the minor child. Any violation will result in contempt charges. The gavel comes down. It's over. I can't move. My lawyer touches my arm. We won. My parents don't look at me. They stand up and walk out with their lawyer. My mother leaning on my dad like her legs don't work anymore. I leave through a different door and walk to my car. My hands are shaking so bad I can barely get the key in the ignition. Outside the courthouse, I'm halfway to my car when someone grabs my arm. I spin around and it's my dad. His face is red, twisted up with something I've never seen before. Pure rage. Do you have any idea what you've done? I try to pull away, but his grip tightens. You exposed our private medical history in open court. Do you know how humiliating that is? You've destroyed our reputation. Everyone's going to know now. Let go of me. You turned our pain into a weapon. Our deepest shame, the thing we've hidden for 30 years, and you spread it out for strangers to judge. I look him right in the eye. Now you know exactly how it felt when you did it to me. He drops my arm like it burned him. My mother's standing by their car, completely broken, mascara streaked down her face. She's not even looking at me, just staring at nothing. I get in my car and drive away. I don't look back. 2 weeks later, there's a knock on my door. It's 9:00 p.m. and I almost don't answer, but something makes me check the peephole. It's my parents. I open the door but keep the chain on. My mother looks like she's aged 10 years. Her eyes are hollow, red-rimmed. Her hair's not done. She's wearing sweatpants. I've never seen my mother in sweatpants. What do you want? Her voice comes out flat, empty. The church asked us to step down from leadership. The court records are public. Someone found them and spread them around. Friends won't return our calls. My sister called yesterday asking questions about why we never told anyone we couldn't have more kids. She laughs, but it sounds broken. 30 years of hiding it, and now everyone knows. My dad's not even trying to pretend anymore. He just looks defeated. My mother stares at me. Are you happy now? You've destroyed us. Our reputation, our standing in the community, everything we built. Are you satisfied? I feel nothing. Not anger, not satisfaction, not even pity, just emptiness. You called me worthless. You watched my husband leave me. You tried to take my daughter. I pause. What did you think would happen? She opens her mouth, closes it, opens it again. Nothing comes out. I asked what you thought would happen. Did you think I'd just let you waltz back into my life? That I'd forget everything you did? That Rosie would fix whatever's broken in you? My dad finally speaks. We just wanted a second chance. You don't get one. I close the door, lock it, the deadbolt, the chain. I stand there for a minute listening. I hear my mother say something to my dad, too quiet to make out, then footsteps walking away. I go to the window and watch them leave. My dad has his arm around my mother's shoulders. She's crying. They look old, bent, carrying shame they tried to bury for decades but can't hide anymore. They walk to their car slowly, like every step hurts. They get in, the engine starts, the headlights come on, and they drive away. I never hear from them again.